STPL.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's STPL. My name is Kix. You are joining me here for DM versus Psi, our one matchup for today, but it should be a good one. Both these teams are at the bottom of the scoreboard at the moment, or at least they're close. I think Psi are definitely the bottom, but still should be a good matchup. These two teams are quite evenly matched as well, so I think out of all the people that are going to be fighting each other, I think this should be a really, really close one. So looking forward to it. DM, I've got a pretty good roster to send out here. They have won all 5 times they played against Psi so far. But this time, this season, could be Psi's comeback. They're doing a lot better this season than they have been in terms of game wins. So should be cool. Psi, of course, on the other side of the coin, we've got Kiko, Michael, 187, who is a new player for Psi in the STPL, and we also have Cold as well. So let's have a look at our matchups here. Starting us off, we're going to have a TBT, so I'm guaranteed some Terran music with Torsan versus Kiko. Now, if you don't know this, Kiko has played in the longest STPL game of all time. It was 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 10 seconds on BlitzX. That was up against J1. So it was actually the last time they played DM that we had the longest TBT and the longest game in the STPL by a good near 15 minutes. That's how much longer that game was. So we could have a really long first game here. Keen versus Michael on blindside. That's going to be a ZVP. We're going to have a second TBT. It's a gift for me today because I'm incredibly tired and I'm looking forward to casting some TBTs here. But Whip versus 187, that's going to be a pretty good one as well. And then we're going to have another PVZ between White and Cold. So 2 PVZs and 2 TBTs. I'd say that's a good day of cast. So let's have a look at our map for now. It is going to be the first TBT we've had on Tears of Goddess. There's actually been only 5 times this season that Terran have been sent out on this map. So this is kind of crazy that we're going to get a TBT. But it's our first TBT. I'm looking forward to it. This should be a long one based on the architecture of the map as well. So without further ado, let's get into game number 1. It's Tears of Goddess and it's Torsan versus Kiko. Okay guys, and welcome here to our series. Starting us off down here in the bottom right hand corner in the magenta, fighting for DM, it's Torsan. And his opponent spawning up here in the top right hand corner, fighting for pSi in the peach, it's Kiko. Now there is a prediction going off on chat if you want to bet some channel points. Looks like Torsan has all the bets so far. There is only 2 people that have bet, so I guess you've got 13 seconds to jump in if you want to defend Kiko here. But Kiko has shown himself to be quite strong in the STPL so far. So, well, okay. So Kiko has played 2 TVTs. He's won 1, lost 1. Torsan has played 4 TVTs, won 1, lost 3, so I think the people who are betting are going to lose to nobody. I can't bet against you, unfortunately, because I have infinite channel points, but there we go. I stupidly, the last 2 nights, stayed up way too late, and like after Monday, I was like, I'm not going to do this again. And then, and then last night even, I was like, I'm gonna go to bed nice and early, and the next thing I knew it was 2:30 at night. I was still talking to people, and I was like, shit, I need to go to bed. So I've been like a zombie all day, essentially, and I got stuck with some really awful stuff at work. So there was a client who was like really angry, and they wanted to speak to a specific person, and then in trying to say no to them doing that request, my manager annoyed them last week, and I got stuck trying to clean it all up. And I think I cleaned it up, but when I was like half asleep trying to do my job, it was difficult. But we've got TVT coming, my favorite matchup in the game. We've got both players going for their racks and their gas, so mirror builds so far. There are like some 1-base plays you can do in TVT. It's not very often you see them, just because they're not as strong as a 2-base play, but we'll have to see how it goes. Looks like Torsan has pulled off of gas, so he's going to be looking to expand, and so is Kiko. So both of them pulling off gas. Kiko's a little bit later pulling off of gas, but I think he put in gas later because they're on exactly the same amount of gas, and Kiko has 1 less worker. So Kiko getting his factory a little bit faster, I believe that is. We've got 5 to 4. Yeah, so Kiko got his factory a bit faster to skipping an SCB. But they should catch up with each other very soon. Now, Torsan is going to scout his opponent first, whereas Kiko did kind of go the roundabout way, so it's going to take him a bit to get into his opponent's base, and he shouldn't be able to now. He is up against 3 Marines. Kiko did stop at 2. Which honestly is a bit of a better play. You don't really need 3 Marines. You need 3 Marines to kill a Wraith without any micro, I think it is. But just against like a Vulture opening, when you're going for a factory yourself, it's oftentimes better to just go for 2 Marines and then go for a command center. Because if you need the bunker, you're going to be building it anyway. And 2 Marines at a bunker is fine in TVT. It's just kind of a waste of 50 minerals a lot of the time. It's a little bit safer going for the 3 Marines though, so that's why a lot of people do choose to do it. Now we've got a Vulture first from Torsan into the machine shop. So Kiko's actually going for a tank first. Now this is actually a kind of a... I don't want to say it's archaic, because people still do it, but it's definitely not as common anymore. It's better... Well, at least in modern TVT, people often just open Vultures. On the off chance they do open tank, you often see an early armory and going for some early Goliaths as well, and that kind of keeps you safe against the Vulture openings. But if you've just got a tank, speed Vultures can be a lot of trouble, especially if they've got mines as well. Now Torsan going for speed Vultures, going for a second factory, getting ready to build his 3rd factory as well, unless he's going for a starport. No, so it's going to be 3 factory here against the 2. And it is going to be mines, so it's just a single tank into Vultures. Now, speed Vultures against no speed Vultures is kind of like how... Oh, this is interesting. This is a really weird timing. Not many people do this. But it's really weak. Well, it's kind of expected, but speed vultures just win against non-speed vultures. That's just how that works. Now, Kiko's playing a dangerous game. As soon as speed kicks in, if Torsan can get out of his... Well, if Torsan can get out of his base here and go for a counter, he is going to be in a very strong position. But it looks like this single tank and the single vulture... Oh my god, he's going to be able to plant a mine underneath the command center. This is so annoying. Oh, but he target fires it. He manages to stop the mine from blocking his command center. I don't think this one's blocking it. But he doesn't stop this one. And this is so frustrating to deal with. You're going mass vulture. He's had to build a tank so he can bait the mines. I mean, the only other way you can do it is with a marine, but marines are very likely to die here. Now, Torsan being pushed back into his main, definitely going to cause some problems. Kiko going to be scouted here by the barracks, knows exactly what he's up against, does Torsan. But will he be seeing Torsan to this army, which means you won't pass? I guess that doesn't... Oh my god, that mine. Oh no. Oh, that mine was so devastating. Looks like this tank on the high ground going to be trying to micro back against the tanks. We've got vultures on the high ground as well. He's going to try and focus fire the mines, but doesn't quite get it. And looks like Kiko is going to fall back home. Wait, how did the tank die? Did I miss the tank dying? Am I blind? Now here we go. Kiko... Oh, sorry, this is Torsan pulling back. He's got 3 vultures now against the 1. But Kiko pulling back to his other 2 that were coming to reinforce, so does keep himself alive. But this is so annoying. 4 mines right where your command center is. This is so frustrating to deal with this Terran. Now we are going to have an academy coming up. He will be able to get scanned. His barracks is on the other side of the map, so he can't use a marine to clear these. And it means you've got to risk a tank. And replacing tanks this early on is very annoying. Now we should have mines soon coming in from Torsan. I'm not sure why he hasn't got them yet, but I guess he's been holding off. Maybe went for siege first. Maybe he's forgotten mines. That would definitely be a bit strange, but it's not completely insane that it could happen in TVT, especially when you've had to deal with this early pressure. Oh my goodness, that's a little bit too dangerous for me. You definitely don't want all of your vultures sat on top of your tank. You need them the other side of the mines, otherwise you are going to lose every single vulture. Now Kiko laying more and more mines over here. Things getting more and more difficult for Torsan. He's got like 4 vultures over here, but with no mines they're not really able to achieve anything. Looks like mines finally being researched. Extra tanks coming in, a 4th factory coming in as well. There's going to be 4 factories for both players. Starport not coming up yet for Kiko. He's got his armory though. No +1 on the way. Back in his opponent's base. He's got an SUV stuck unfortunately, but no armory at all here. So if Kiko can start his +1, he is going to start to get incredibly far ahead. Not only based on his economy being better, based on the fact he did get his 2nd command center a lot sooner, and it was landed. Well, it was working the whole time. But essentially, Torsan is going to be playing the waiting game. He's going to have to try and come back. Looks like he is going to repair his command center. Honestly, I don't really see there's any point to this. But I suppose it's peace of mind, essentially. Now we've got mines being laid on top of mines. That is when things start to become a little bit more confusing. Scanning while attacking the vultures, maybe not the best idea. Maybe better to just focus fire those down first. But does manage to clear up the minefield. And that will allow him to move forward to at least secure his path down to his 3rd base. Yeah, TVT wasすごいよね. Looks like Kiko going to be setting up here with his 2 tanks. He does have siege mode already. Due to the late upgrades from Torsan, his siege mode is not quite done. His armory is done though, so he is going to be able to start going into... what was I going to say? Into +1 as well. Looks like the 3rd base has been scouted here. It's going to be a little bit hard to clean this up, but the vulture is going to come back to deal with this. One of the Goliaths killing one of the mines, so not eating too much damage there. But still, delaying that command center is annoying. Torsan is going to be able to go and build his command center if he wants to, but he's going to push forward here. He knows the vultures are out of position, so he's actually going to be able to take a position in the middle of the map. The tanks moving in a perfect siege range, Mines going off on the back tank there, going to be helping out a lot, and he clears it up. Now this is going to allow him to move up on top of this bridge, and if you get this bridge in TVT, the 3 o'clock base essentially becomes untakeable. Looks like Kiko going to move into a defensive position to defend against this, but by securing this position as well, Torsan is going to secure his 3rd base. So that is definitely something he is going to look towards doing. But you definitely don't want to be too over-aggressive here. It's hard to break over this bridge. You may as well just not bother. Doesn't really help out too much. It's better to try and move around and take a position here to block your opponent from being able to expand any further, but Torsan looks like he wants to block the bridge for the time being and see how that goes. I'm casting zoomed in again for the the normal zoom, and I'm so used to casting zoomed out now that I'm just not used to it anymore. There's so little you see on screen. Like, as soon as anything happens, I zoom out, and it just looks so much better that I don't zoom back in again. I don't know if that's just... I think that might just be me as well. I don't think Zero does that when he's observing. Oh, looks like the barracks has been taken down from Torsan, so if he wants to add any more factories, he's going to have to rebuild it. Looks like he's already started doing that. But it means that in terms of vision, Kiko does have the advantage down here. Now some tanks moving down here to the bottom middle to get control over his bridge. And that means he's going to be able to build his 3rd base on location. And it's going to be pretty damn safe. Now, Kiko has actually made a very good choice here. He's kind of moved around the side of the, semi-contain. And he's securing a position in the middle of the map. Now, realistically, this doesn't achieve too much. Because at the moment, Torsan can come out of this bottom bridge, but it does limit unit movement. Like, he doesn't need to clear these units, but it's still useful to hold this position if he can. Essentially, with Tears of Goddess, the middle of the map is the most, okay, so this is going to sound strange, and I know this is the same in literally every map ever, but when you zoom out, look at the middle of the map. All 4 bases head in via this, windmill shape in the middle, like a fan almost, to this one small area. If you control this, you control unit movement to all of the other bases. Now, I don't necessarily feel that this position is the strongest, because you do have this bridge and you can kind of go around and secure this bridge. But that means we're probably going to have a long game here, because, yeah. Essentially, Kiko is not going to be able to push down, Torsan is not going to be able to push up, so he is going to continue pushing left until we split the map halfway. And it's very rare we get split map TVTs on 4-player maps in STPL, so I'm very, very happy with this. I'm very tired, but any TVT will give me energy, so I'm very happy we finally get to cast the TVT. It's been a while. Usually the TVTs we get are lackluster because they're always cheeses. But if I can rely on one person, it's Kiko. Kiko's TVTs always go the long route, so I'm happy. We've got 6 fact, again 6 fact up here. The armory is spinning for +2. Do we have +1 yet even? I don't think we even have +1. Yeah, we do. Okay, so we've got +1. But Kiko, Torsan even, is going to secure his position in the middle of the map here. And this means he's going to completely cut off Kiko from the bottom left. Now, by holding this position here, we are going to see this base secured, and that will allow him to kind of wind his way around. But there's no anti-air. There are some turret building positions in the middle of the map, which Torsan is going to make use of. Very, very useful to do. In TBT, one of the most important use of minerals is just turrets. Like, you wouldn't think so. But turrets in TBT are so unbelievably important. There's a reason in the hour-long TBTs, or in any long TBT in Pro Brood War history, the map is filled with turrets at pretty much every single possible location you can build one. And it's because it stops things like this. Like, you build the turret, and then essentially what happens is Wraiths can't do as much. Turrets, sorry, not turrets. Dropships have their movement limited, and it just becomes a very nice defendable position. Now we've got +2/+1 coming in. Not going for any sky upgrades just yet. Air upgrades, I guess. We don't say sky, that would be... I don't know, sky makes sense to me, but I guess people don't really use it. 71 SCVs, 252 at the moment. Torsan still hasn't moved down here to the bottom left-hand corner, but he is slowly starting to move out with turrets. Kiko now taking the 12 o'clock location. Kiko with a ridiculous supply lead at the moment, by the way, but Torsan definitely with the better position in the middle of the map. Now, Kiko's supply lead, I don't know where it's coming from. He's got 20... Okay, so he's got 20 supply in SCVs, and the rest must be the vultures he's got. So overall, this isn't looking too bad for Torsan still. Torsan essentially secures the middle of the map, which I mentioned before is very, very important in TBT. Now, the fact we do have dropships coming in from Kiko is going to give Torsan the kind of the momentum advantage, but we do have dropships coming in from Torsan as well. Now, dropships, of course, in TBT are incredibly strong. If you can go in at the right angle, like it looks like Kiko is going to do now, you can get into a position to do a lot of damage, but there's a lot of units here. He's actually got a lot of units in a defensive position. One of the... Oh, he's dropping tanks. He's sieging way early, but for some reason, Kiko drops out where he does. And that means these units are going to take a ton of damage. And just like that, the supply lead is going to start to look a little bit better for Torsan here, because he's going to get a little bit closer. But if Kiko just flew everything down here, it would be so much harder to break through. Look how much trouble he's having. Siege tanks doing so much damage. The SCV's running away. Does he? Okay, he does have something in position to attack here, so he does clean it up, but he takes a lot of damage. He's now down 30 workers. But by being down 30 workers, it means the supply advantage in army supply is only around 10 to 15 now, so that's not too bad. Looks like the dropships do come around to the left-hand side to come back home. We're going to have Torsan go for the throat here. He's going to go up through the middle of the map. He's got a lot of units here, but this is a very risky position to attack into. It is +2 against +1. And did he overextend a little bit there? Taking this position doesn't really do too much for him compared to the position he had before. He does take a lot of damage. The supply lead for Kiko extends another 10 supply, and there is a lot of heavily damaged tanks here at the front. He does secure a place to build more turrets. He is building more turrets over here at his natural as well. But oh, looks like the dropship gonna get caught off guard here. Does manage to get past. Nice scans from Torsan so far though, keeping Kiko's units in check. And we do have an SCV repairing. Now the one problem that Torsan has is he's not secured this bottom left yet. And if we can see Kiko drop tanks on this high ground, it is going to be very hard to break. Now of course we do have dropships on the other side as well, which is going to allow him to try and come in here and do some like counter dropping. But really nice scans in the middle of the map by both players. Although he really cannot afford to attack here. He's going to fall back. Okay, this is definitely the right choice to make. Where are Torsan's dropships? Did they all die? Did I miss the dropships? Oh no, they're still here. Okay, so he's still not using the dropships just yet. Some units getting pulled in to the tank range. Kiko taking his 5th base. Torsan still on 3. This is the kind of TBT I love. We just need more drop play from Torsan and then I'll be really happy. Trouble is, Torsan is in a kind of position where he can't afford to throw units away. He's got a good defensive position. Oh, I love this repairing. This repairing is so important. Repairing in TBT is one of your strongest assets. It's one of your strongest assets of Terran in general. And the people who don't do it properly really annoy me. Like, you've basically got a way to save your units. Use it. Now looks like Torsan trying to move into a position to block Kiko from being able to take a 5th base. A lot of tanks coming in to try and stop against this. And it looks like Kiko's going to be able to secure the top left. But Kiko taking his 9 o'clock base, knowing that if there's one base on the map that's going to be harder for him to take later on, it's going to be that one. Now, these tanks aren't sieged. If they were, this would definitely be a different position to attack into. But looks like he is going to be able to hold on to the bridge regardless. So maybe training away too many tanks here. Oh my god, does this have any vulture mines? It does. Oh my goodness, this mine could be absolutely incredible. Oh my goodness. Oh, he does so much damage with that one mine. Doesn't kill the tanks, but that was definitely a good mine laying from that vulture. It may have died for its sins, but it did it well. Now we do have 2 dropships loading up. Still, 2 dropships, not all that much in a TBT. We've finally got +2 or plus... Oh, sorry, this is +3 attack coming in. So it's 2-1 against 2-0. Looks like we've got 3-2 coming in, though. So, +2 ground upgrades, not too important in TBT, but the later the game goes on, the better it gets. Just because when you start to run out of gas at your bases, you kind of switch back into vulture play. And vultures with +3 armor... the vultures with +3 armor against vultures with either no armor or just +1, it's not even close. Lots of scans going off by both players. Kiko with a ton of units over here trying to come in from the side to get a position in the middle of the map. He's not going to be able to find it for now, but he will secure his top left. It's kind of weird how this map is split as well, because we have both players unable to push each other's bridges, but there's just enough units. Now we've got Torsan getting ready to expand on the bottom left. You can really see... Oh, he needs to kill the mine so he can take the base properly. But basically, Torsan, you can see where he's not got as much money, where he is down in supply still, and he's also down in bases. He's not had the mining going for as long as Kiko has, so looks like we are going to have a big drop coming in to the left-hand side of the map. It's not overly huge. We do have a lot of turrets here, and there's a lot of tanks being able to defend this area. Looks like a lot of SCVs coming in. The dropships on the high ground, they're going to get to the high ground on the bottom left. And this is when things start to get a little bit more risky. Torsan with a nice scan. Oh, sorry, that was Kiko with the scan. Trying to check where his opponent's units are. But this is going to be hard to break. Getting back here to defend this without your own dropships is a very big problem. There's 4 Goliaths here as well, which should make this a little bit more difficult. But I swear I keep missing the dropships of... I swear, where do Torsan's dropships keep going? I don't understand. Now, is he going to scan to see these dropships? He doesn't need to. He's going to be able to kill one of them. That's annoying. That's gas that you're not going to get back. Now, it looks like he is getting ready to push down here to the bottom left-hand corner. Will he be able to break it with the units he's got? He's got a lot of vultures down here. That's where a lot of his minerals have been going. But vultures definitely do not trade very well against 3-2 units. But he is going to be able to get up here. There is mines as well. The mines do not clear anything, but the vultures do. The base is secured. And finally, we have a position where Torsan can get to even bases with Kiko. Yeah, I swear I must have missed him losing the dropship somewhere. He's now starting to add a ton of dropships on. He is queuing his units. That's not a terrible thing to do when you're kind of this late in the game. In TBT, a lot of pros will queue units late game if they've got a bank, because at the end of the day, you just want to be constantly building units. And if you're moving dropships around, you're pushing siege lanes, you're focusing a lot on scans, it's actually better rather than to let your money build up to just queue or build a lot of turrets literally everywhere. And a good move you can make in the late game, of course, is going in for a massive air switch. And that looks to be what we're going to have from Kiko here. Starport's coming in. Torsan, I don't think has scanned this just yet. But when you have starports coming in, when you've got this physics lab going, he actually went for 2 science facilities. That's definitely a weird thing I've seen, but he could go for covert ops as well and play the ultimate tech game of TBT. We've got +3 armor coming in on ground, +1 ship weapons. Honestly, I think going for +3 armor on ground is a little bit wasteful. He could have been getting plating or attack for his ship weapons, so his BC switch is actually going to be a little bit worse than it would be normally, but looks like Torsan is thinking about trying to break his way through, and I don't really feel like he needs to, but he's got a lot of units. He's sort of building up to do it. We've got +2 air coming in. No air upgrades yet. No add-on here, but looks like we are going to have the tanks moving forward. Vulture's going to be soaking up a lot of these shots, but they do die in essentially one hit now. So Kiko in a very, very good position now. Torsan losing a lot of units to do that. Doesn't break the siege line. And as we well know, with battle cruisers on the way, this is when things go from bad to worse as a Terran player. Looks like we do have the first couple of battle cruisers spawning in. Battle cruiser operational. I love battle cruisers. They're so good. We don't see them enough. I love them so much. They're the best capital ship. I don't care about carriers. A lot of scans going down for both players. Has Kiko scanned the top left? He's getting ready to scan there, and now he has. He knows he is up against mass air, and this is where the panic starts to set in, because your opponent's already got their first few BCs. You can see they have 5. Well, he's only seen 3 spinning, but essentially there's 6 possible starports that could be building battle cruisers right now. And the further behind in the battlecruiser count you fall, the worse it's going to get. You can see he immediately goes into air weapons. Now, what is his plan going to be? He's taking the bottom left. He's going into air himself. Is he going to go for wraiths? Or is he going to try and catch up in the BC count? It's often better to just go for wraiths early on. Scan from Kiko will see the fact the dropships have been loaded up. 6 dropships overall. And if he takes a lot of Goliaths here, he can actually get into a position to start to fight these battlecruisers. But there's just so many of them. Thank you, Mullet, for the raid, man. Hopefully your stream went well. But looks like Torsan getting ready. Lots of scans going on. See where his opponent's units are. Kiko scanning as well, trying to find the Goliaths. Or trying to find the dropships even. Very quickly. Now, Torsan is going to be in a lot of trouble here. One thing you can do against BCs is go for a lot of defense matrix. It counteracts Yamato, because 1D matrix will essentially nullify 1 Yamato. That's just how that works. We saw that in Kiko versus J1, which was an incredible TBT on BlitzX in Season 2. Now looks like the BC's up here in the top left. One of them incredibly close to death, actually. Lots of turrets here, so these turrets are going to help out a little bit. But here come the Yamatos. And that is when things are going to start to become problematic, because turrets are pretty much the only things he has here. But we've got a lot more units dropping off here. There's a lot more Goliaths this time. And oh my god, the starports are completely undefended. This is the move that could bring Torsan back into the game. He's going to focus fire the BC as soon as it comes out. The BCs aren't on 3-3 yet, so they are not in the best position to fight these Goliaths. But if he can kill all of these starports, it buys him time to get his own BC count up here. And this drop means he is going to be losing a bunch of supply that he can refill. And I love TBT, man. The absolute best. But here we go. Goliath's going to focus down another couple of BCs, most likely. Should finish this one off. But it looks like he wanted to try and kill the other one. That's a little bit unfortunate, but 2 of the starports have been killed. Can he get a 3rd one? Looks like the tank's a little bit too close to the starports here, so he can't kill it, unfortunately. But will managing takedown 2 is kind of annoying. He took down a load of add-ons as well. And look over here, we've got 4 BCs possibly going to come in at the same time. A 5th command center is up. We've got a science vessel coming on over here, so he listened to the stream. He knows about the cool deep matrix you can do. But this could be a big mistake here, pushing forward. But lovely mines, oh my goodness, so much damage being dealt to the tanks here. And Torsan breaks through. Kiko's base is in the top left and now no longer defended. There's battle cruisers here, but they're not going to be able to fight these Goliaths alone. And one of them taking a lot of damage already. 2 tanks on the high ground here going to help out a lot. But oh my god, Torsan needs to make sure he focuses the same one every time. But he is going to kill another one. Tanks in an amazing position. Going to be doing a ton of damage to the SCV count here, but the tanks are going to go down. But this is just one of many armies that could waddle their way up here to the top left. But does block the base for the time being. The tanks all go down. But once again, he's bought time. Kiko's battlecruiser count is only 4. Okay, 7 now. He is building another 4. No, he's actually only building another 2. But look at this, we've got more units heading on up to the top left. There are more tanks here to defend now. But to do this, he's taking a lot of tanks away from the middle, so we could possibly see a push. But looks like he doesn't want to do that just yet. We've got a lot of SCVs here to help repair these BCs. But the BC count for Torsan should be steadily improving as well. Like, okay, I'm going to go on a rant again, but late game TBT is literally the best matchup in the game. I don't care what anyone says. This map is Tier of Goddess. It was a map made specifically for STPL Season 4. It's very similar to Luna, but it was made by Gosomi, and we've had really good games on here. Okay, late game CVZ isn't good, because essentially it comes down to one person plaguing, and the other person's mutas will die. Like, that's not good. Defilers are good, Devourers are good as well, but Defilers just basically mean air is pointless. But here we go, looks like we are going to have the battlecruisers coming in. He actually got the energy upgrade. It doesn't really help too much, but they do spawn with a little bit more energy. Oh, we've got dropships going up here. Is he sacrificing the dropships? Oh my god, he's wasting some of the Yamatos on the dropships here. Whoa. Did he fly out of range of the Yamato? Can you do that? Yeah, he's freeing supply for battlecruisers. Nothing's dropping off up here. And look at this, the battlecruisers went back to defend, and all of a sudden Torsan springs into action and kills Kiko's tanks in the middle of the map. And that is really cool. There is still a lot of battlecruisers here. It is 3-1 upgrades. Didn't get any additional armor upgrades, interestingly enough. He is going to be up against 2-2, 3-3. Not on the way unless it just finished. No, it's just going to be 2-2 for now. But Torsan now ahead in workers, ahead in supply. Well, almost. They're both basically maxed out, so here we go. Scans coming in. Yamato coming in as well. Ah, Yamato is so good. Ah, the target and dropship may have died. Okay. That might be what it was. But we've got a lot of turrets here. He's actually building all of his turrets in the main. Kind of expecting this base to die. Now this base, it's got a lot of gas at, so it's definitely well worth building a ton of turrets here. Oh, I forgot that Zagek is Kiko, isn't it? I think you're Kiko, right? But here we go, dropships coming in. They are going to drop on the tanks here. This is going to trade pretty efficiently. He is going to be able to sack his dropships as well. But oh my god, tank fire. Oh my god, tank fire. Now we do have a vessel out here with 2 D-matrixes available. Kiko loses all of his tanks in the middle of the map. And this means a mass Goliath switch can actually do a lot from Torsan here. Oh, Yamato. I guess he's not going to Yamato here, but he is going to get ready for it. We've got a lot of BCs against not many, so this is definitely the best possible position he could be in. A little bit of a misclick there on 2 of the battlecruisers, but still manages to do it. D-Matrix coming in. 2 more battlecruisers coming in from the bottom as well. And this is actually going a lot better here for Torsan than I thought it would do. Kiko getting a little bit caught off guard by the Goliaths on the ground as well. And the 2 D-Matrixes helping so much. Actually using the Yamato on the battlecruiser rather than the vessel. I think killing the vessel may have been good there, but looks like he is going to be able to break in to this top left-hand base. Of course, this is where all of the starports are. Yeah, players can bet on themselves in the thing, but he can't break into the top left-hand corner. Kiko, he's gone through a lot of his bank, though. He's not traded the most efficiently so far. He does still have a decent amount of gas. He does have 3-2. Is 3-3 on the way? No 3-3. 3-3 on the way on this side. So Torsan, the longer the game goes on, the stronger position he's going to be in. Goliath's up here killing a lot of SCVs. That is going to free a lot of supply for Kiko, who most likely wants to get rid of these SCVs anyway. But Kiko is essentially down to one mining base, and it's barely mining. There's only 4 SCVs mining up here, and he's not mining fully on gas either. I think Kiko's in trouble. How does Kiko secure his final base? How does he get it? And this gas is depleted, of course, which is one thing. Okay, so it looks like he is going to move down to the low ground and try and take his base again. But this base is like the most important base on the map for him now, because Kiko, his bases are still pretty hefty. They're still pretty healthy as well. I meant to say healthy to begin with. So Torsan can go for a while here. But Kiko's in a lot of trouble. Unless he can overwhelmingly win the BC war, he is going to have a lot of trouble here. Now obviously Torsan relying a lot with his lower BC count on these Goliaths. But so many Yamatos coming in here. The Goliath's not going to be dealt with. Nice Yamato though from Kiko. Trading quite well with that BC. And he actually has enough BCs to attack into this. But he has to go now. He has to focus fire the Goliaths as well. But looks like we do have a lot of units coming in from the bottom from Torsan here. And the upgrades really coming in handy. It's 6 BCs against 7. One of them about to fall, but one falling for both sides. It's 3 versus 6. And this could be checkmate. Torsan has so many units. Although it's 3 versus 2 again. 3 versus 1. Kiko's Goliath's coming in from behind. I didn't realize this was actually Torsan's tank in his opponent's base. Oh my god, and he even got the Yamato off as well. Perfect trade. So unlucky there. But does make use of all of his energy. And that is the perfect engagement that Kiko could have hoped for. But Torsan still with a big supply advantage now. We've kind of flipped situations with Torsan being ahead 20 workers rather than his opponent. But the battlecruisers have started sooner. We've got a vessel here for EMP and for defense matrix. But you can really see where the trading has gone better for Torsan this game. His mineral count is so high in spite of building so many turrets. And a lot of that comes down to not having this base mining and not really mining from these minerals at all. So looks like, is he airlifting SCVs in? Yeah, so he's airlifting some SCVs in. He is starting to build them in the top left as well. And now this gas is depleted, but should still be mining on that fully because gas is still very important. Now, funnily enough, the middle of the map is essentially empty now, where pretty much neither player has much. Looks like Torsan does have a pretty big army heading up here towards the top right. But if he has some tanks building, he should be fine on the high ground. But I think Torsan has won this. Kiko doesn't actually have any units back home to defend, so he's going to lose his 2 science facilities. And that means he's not going to be able to build BCs anymore. He doesn't really have the money to build BCs. Looks like he does have 7 and a vessel. He's up against only 4 at the moment, I think. Oh no, 4, 8. This is 12, so... Oh, there was some hiding over here as well. Yeah, but he's losing his factories in the top right-hand corner. He's going to lose all his depots as well. A guy in the chat saying 7k minerals, god. If you're saying that that's bad, it's because it's TBT. It's normal to have a big mineral bank in the late game. If you're saying it's just, wow, that's high, That's just TBT for you, especially when you go BC versus BC. You can see that Torsan actually flipping in. Oh my god, can we get an EMP off? Can we get a D-Matrix? Is he going to be able to save one of his... Oh, EMPs, so there's no Yamato on the other side, but just time, or just numbers-wise, we have a victory here for Torsan, and GG, Kiko taps out. Torsan wins game number 1. Okay, I'm going to go for a quick few-minute break, and when I get back, we'll be heading into game number 2. No, it's only 1 Yamato per BC, because Yamato is 150 energy. Kiko, you didn't throw the game so hard. Torsan just played well. Like, he played really well. His positioning was really good that game. But there we go. I will see you guys in a couple of minutes. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 2 here, starting us off in the 12 o'clock position in the orange, fighting for DM. It's Keen. And his opponent spawning down here in the 6 o'clock position, fighting for pSi. It's Michael. Okay, the predictions are open in chat, guys. If you want to predict who you want to bet against, you can win some channel points. You can also lose some channel points as well, so a little bit risky. Keen and Michael, kind of not super well-known players in the STPL. By the way, you can bet by opening up the channel points menu, I think it is, in the bottom left-hand side of your chat window. We never usually have too many people betting, but we did have someone bet big the other day and they lost everything, so it's definitely something you got to be careful of. PVZ again in the STPL, one of I'm gonna have to do some stat checking on this, but I'm fairly certain that PVZ is probably the matchup we've had most of all of the matchups. There are so many Protoss players, so many Zergs. And we do have a lot of PvP, we do have a lot of ZVZ as well, but PVZ feels like the one I see the most of. Like, when I first started casting STPL, I honestly didn't know much about PVZ. I probably still don't know much about PVZ, But I definitely know more about PvZ than I did before. Apparently, predictions are not available. Bourbon, you're from Poland, right? Or is it Ukraine? I can never remember which one. I guess maybe if gambling's illegal where you are, maybe that's why. Or maybe it's not been rolled out to your region yet. Twitch is weird. I don't understand Twitch. Okay, so it was Gateway first here against an overpull into a hatchery. So fairly standard PvZ so far. I wonder if the predictions are... I wonder if they're age-gated as well. Because it's technically illegal, I think, in the EU for people under the age of 18 to bet. And that's why loot boxes was such a hot topic, because essentially they're gambling, and kids were spending a lot of money and not getting anything, so... It's not technically betting, but it kind of is. Like, you're still giving up something you have, and you have the chance of not getting anything in return. Oh, you can bet with bits. That's interesting. So what happens when people bet with bits? That would be an interesting thing to find out. Now, the first zealot did go out, didn't do any damage, and it does have a kind of a welcoming party of 6 slings chasing it away. The second zealot gonna come in from the right-hand side. Apparently Lucky Noob has not opened that option. You can try next. Okay, well, if people have bits and they want to try it out, feel free. Maybe just bet like 1 or something. I guess what happens is the bits get shared among the people, I guess, rather than it going to a streamer themselves, I guess, which makes sense. Okay, gas coming in. Nexus is done. Cannon is coming up as well. We've got a lair coming in off of the 3 hatcheries here, so it's not going to be a crazy 3 hatch hide roll in or anything, but we do have a zealot getting into the main somehow, so... Yeah, I think if you could bet bits rather than bit bets. Oh my god, two drones go down there. That was a little bit of a misstep there from Keen. But I think if you can bet bits, it will become essentially legal, illegal. Looks like viewers in Denmark, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Philippines, Poland, Quebec, Singapore, Sweden, Korea, and Turkey will see predictions are not available to viewers in your region due to legal restrictions. Wait, Quebec? Just Quebec only, not the rest of Canada? Does Quebec have like some weird anti-gambling laws or something? Anyone from Canada in chat? That is so weird. Why would it only be Quebec? Then again, I guess like some towns, like Las Vegas has different gambling laws to like the rest of the state, if I remember rightly. SCP saying it sounds about right, Quebec is weird. Someone's saying it's French Canadians being weird again. Yeah, I saw that it snowed in Las Vegas apparently. That's really kind of crazy. Now Spire coming in off of the 3 hatcheries. No Hydrodin just yet. So they're going to be going for some muteless here early on. Not often you get to see mutas in CVP actually, so kind of cool and kind of interesting to see what Keen is actually going to be doing with them. Yeah, the thing is with the, I know I'm not talking about the game and there's a lot of people that get annoyed when I do this, but from what I understand about a documentary I watched once with my mom about Las Vegas, essentially the law in Las Vegas was so lax because essentially Las Vegas was set up by the mafia and they couldn't do what they wanted, so they were like, okay, we're going to make our own town or like our own city and we're going to have our own laws. That's why Las Vegas is known as the, Las Vegas is the Sin City, right? That's the thing there, but basically the Mafia controlled Las Vegas. It's obviously not controlling it anymore, but there's probably still some Mafia ties there. But for the most part, like, Las Vegas was getting away with a lot of stuff that the rest of the US wasn't doing, because they made their own laws. Yeah, Sin City's a moniker. Like, the Big Apple is... Big Apple's New York, and then you've got the Windy City, which is Chicago. No one says the Big Apple anymore, right? I have not heard the phrase the Big Apple in like 10 years, if not more. Like in the 90s, it was everywhere. Like everyone said the Big Apple all the time. Like it was in sitcoms, it was in films. I can't remember the last time I saw someone called New York the Big Apple. That's so weird. Why have I just suddenly thought of that? Oh well. Okay, back at home we do have the Citadel done. No Templar Archives coming in yet. Gonna be relying entirely on Corsairs. Templar Archives actually coming up in the bottom left. Now these Mutalists are trying to find some Templar to snipe, but not going to be able to find any just yet. Does get a single probe. Maybe when New York cleaned up their image, they lost the Big Apple. A lot of Zealots on the way here up to the third base. The Mutalists are chasing them, but they're being attacked by a ton of +1 Corsairs here. No, he's not got +1, but still a ton of Corsairs. Zealot's going to get in on top of the third base. The SimCity here, not brilliant. He's not actually got any Hydras here to defend. So these bases are in a lot of trouble. But he does hold on with Lings. He is down a lot of workers, and he's about to lose a ton of Overlords here. But it's not the end of the world here for Keen, although he's definitely going to be in big trouble now. Anyone know what part of what part of America Keen's from? Is he from New York? Is he in big trouble in the Big Apple? Is that where we're at? Is that a pun I can make? Does that make so? Is that legal? Can I make that pun? I don't know. DT running out. The Lings escorting it back home. Now, there's no Overlord at the moment. There is one Overlord here, so he should be able to hold on to the DT. Looks like the DT stopped to kill a few Lings on the way. We actually have Corsairs getting taken out in the main, though. Oh my goodness, 2 of them go down. 2 do remain, though. More Overlords have gone down, and there's no way of him building any units at the moment. Apparently, I'm ripping off Big Trouble in Little China by saying Big Trouble in the Big Apple. Really? The DT still didn't manage to get into the base, so everything is safe for Keen at the moment. Is that ripping it off? That's like completely different. One's big, one's little. You know, it's not even the same. Yeah, this is just while we're waiting for the DT trying to get in, but does get taken down by the Hydras at the front. What I was going to say is there's a weird cultural difference between like Japan and Europe and America, where in Japan like everything has like a mascot character or some kind of like catchphrase or like a specific kind of souvenir, I guess, like something that like each city and each town essentially has a thing they're known for, and it will be like printed on everything, right? It's not really like that in Europe and America anymore. I don't think it's ever been like that. Lucky Noob saying it is like that, but it's not the same. Like, it's not a major thing, right? It's not been a major thing for a while. Like in the UK, for instance, like you go anywhere in the UK and you get the same stuff. There'll maybe be like a fridge magnet that looks different. It'll have like a different place name on it. But like different areas won't have their own specific thing that they make. And there's not really items that you can only buy in one part of the UK. Oh, wait, that Corsair took 3 Scourge to die. OP? Is that OP? Okay, so meanwhile we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways for Michael. His supply lead is getting bigger and bigger. And we have a big army heading up towards Keen's little bases. But the Corsairs have mostly died here, so the Mutas are going to come in. They're going to snipe all the High Templar here. Nice storm, though. At least a good storm to start with. Oh my god, he's doing so much damage with these storms to the Mutas. The Mutas are almost all dead. They do all die to storm. Oh my goodness. But all of the splash is gone. And this means that Keen is going to be able to kill this army, I think. But he doesn't have many units. He doesn't have much supply in Hydra right now, and that's going to be a big, big problem. Looks like the Hydra's getting caught off guard. He's not fighting with all of his army at once. And this could be the end of Keen here, because Michael is looking so, so strong. His army with +2 attack against just 1-0. I think Michael's done it. He's cut the throat here, and he's going for the juicy, juicy innards of Keen's bases here. And I don't think there's any way that Keen can hold on to this. It doesn't matter how many Hydras you have. He's not going to break this. Now, we do have a lot of Lurkers coming in. Lurkers, if he can get them, may be able to hold on to everything. But Michael's on 3 bases. This is just one part of a bigger battle here. And one of the bases has gone down. Lurkers immediately going down here as well. A lot of Dragoons on the high ground. Going to make this so hard for Keen. GG. Keen taps out. And Michael wins game number 2. Okay guys, welcome back. Starting us down here in the bottom left-hand corner, fighting for pSi. It's 187. And his opponent spawning up here in the 12 o'clock position. We have another TBT. My favorite matchup. We've got the good music again. It's going to be Whip fighting for DM. Now this is Neo Moonglaive, my favorite, my absolute favorite TBT map of all time. All of the TBTs on this map are absolute gold in the pro era of StarCraft 1. So many good games on this map. So many absolutely brilliant games. Now, Lucky Noob pointing out that in the thread there's only Bulgarian flags. It turns out that I put the flag there but didn't type any of the players' names in. And because I can't post HTML anywhere but the staff forum, if I change it, it basically means that, it basically means that I need to get a mod to fix it, and I don't want to, like, be annoying to them, so I just posted it at the bottom of the thread. If you look in the final comment, you'll see the next game as well. It's kind of funny, Albert hasn't been here watching the stream recently, but he messaged me today asking me how I was on Discord, and I was like, oh, I'm tired, you know, I'm tired, it's just one of those days. And I was like, I kind of don't want to stream today because I'm so tired. But then he's like, well, you've got 2 TBTs, you like TBT, right? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I do, yeah. People talking in chat about banning TBT until I free the Dodal. Well, if you want to free the Dodal, you can support us on Matcherino to reach that $2,000 prize pool goal. Currently, we are at $1,382. You can enter the code STPL S4 to add 50 cents to the prize pool completely free. And yeah, that's what you need to worry about. Yeah, TBT is the best matchup in Broodmore. Oh my god, the people when I'm casting, like the people when I'm casting who are like, oh wait, I saw this in BSL as well. People like, oh, it's TBT, set it to ×4. It's like, what? You don't do that with any other matchup. Screw that. TBT is the best matchup. If you should ×4 any matchup, it should be ZVZ. Right? It's short anyway. Let's just get it out of the way. You know, it's going to end in one air battle anyway. So, yeah, if you've used the code already, you might not be able to use it again. You can sign in with multiple accounts, so you can always do that. But I don't know if that's technically against the TOS. So maybe don't do that. But Matcherino are one of our wonderful sponsors. The other one, of course, is Esport Fund, who donated $1,000 to the prize pool at the beginning. So maybe the code has all been used up. I didn't think it has, though. It could be that we've used all the codes. I didn't think we did, but maybe we have. Okay, expansions coming in for both players. We do have a lot quicker of a scout here for 187. Whip is going to get his barracks there eventually, but it's going to be a little bit slower. Now, it looks like Whip could be in a position to block this command center, but he's not attacking the SCV. Okay, now he's going to, so he is going to deny the mining for the time being. We've actually got a Vulture against the Vulture here. The Vulture on the high ground, missing shots as well as being repaired, so he does hold on to that quite handily. But both players have actually blocked each other from expanding, so looks like we are going to have the SCV coming back here first. 187 going to actually repair his Vulture before he rebuilds the command center, so it looks like he has realized what's going on and will go and do that. But this game is definitely looking a little bit more scrappy than our first game did. We've got speed Vultures coming in for Whip. He does have his second factory already. We've got 2 factories here for 187. Third factory coming in, but his machine shop only now just coming up. So it's going to be 3 Vultures to start us off with. And is he going to use this to attack? And is it going to go badly? Oh my god, this Terran theme is so good. You know, I kind of don't want to... I'm so tired, I kind of don't want to cast. Can we just listen to the Terran theme? Like, let's do that. That'd be nice. No, I should probably cast. I should... You know what? I shouldn't really be admitting on stream that I don't feel like casting right now. I'm still enjoying it, but it's so much harder to cast when you're so tired. Like, I don't know. It's definitely not the most professional thing, but when you watch Artosis and Tasteless who get paid megabucks to like cast for Afrika, I don't know, they're probably a little bit more unprofessional than me most of the time. So here we go, looks like we are going to have the... Oh, the Vultures coming in at the perfect time. Whip, 187 even not realizing, and Whip is going to be in such a strong position here. This can actually be the end of the game. Looks like the SCVs have come out here, but they're not going to be able to do too much to help out. They're not attacking the Vultures. He's not going to be able to repair either. And yeah, this is risky. Unlucky Noob saying I should have a power nap. The only times I've ever tried to nap, I have ended up with a massive headache. So I'm not going to do that. But Whip came in at the perfect timing, knowing that 187 was not focusing in the right place. And this is probably going to be checkmate. 187 is not going to be able to get enough units out here to actually defend his base. I think this is just checkmate here. Obviously Kiko did a good job in game 1. Well, yeah, Kiko did a good job in game 1. He did lose eventually, but there we go. GG, 187 has tapped out, and Whip wins game number 3.
Power!
Hello guys and welcome. Oh, we need to press this button and then we need to do this as well. Starting us off here in the top left hand corner, fighting in the white for DM. It's their captain. We've not seen him play in the STPL for a very long time. It's white. And his opponent spawning up here in the top right hand corner in the teal, fighting, I think this is like mint green, fighting for cold, fighting for pSi. It's cold. And by the way, if someone wants to message me tomorrow and just see if I'm tired, and then I tell you that I've been up until like 2:30 in the morning again, so I'm really tired still, please hit me or something. Like, please don't let me get away with this. Like, I need to stop doing it. I just need to stop. I need to go to bed at a normal time. My, like, biorhythm is completely off. And it's 100% BR Chat's fault, by the way. 100% BR Chat's fault. There's willpower, but... Okay, it's a mix of VR Chat not wanting to work, and the two together... The two together causes my problem. Because I don't want to sleep, because the sooner I sleep, the faster I have to work. And the trouble is, like, there's a lot of people, because when it gets super late for me, it's like late morning for Japan. So essentially I get to meet up with people that I don't often get to see. So I get speaking to them and then like time passes very quickly. You know, it's just one of those things. It's a hard life. I partake in revenge bedtime procrastination, or whatever it's called when you translate it to English from Chinese. I am very bad at it. I want as much free time as I can possibly get after work, because at the end of the day I just don't want to wake up and then go to work again. I do want to wake up, obviously, but it's just the pain of knowing that as soon as I wake up, because I wake up 10 minutes before work, that I'm going to have to basically work straight away. It's like some horrible, horrible nightmare. It's like a loop going around and round and round. But it's worth it. I have fun. I'm often tired, but whatever. I'm still young, I can deal with it. Oh yeah, it was Groundhog Day the other week. Yesterday, right? Well, I guess it's Groundhog Day every day. Rise and shine, campers, because it, well, and you better put on your booties because it's cold outside. I can't remember the rest of that quote, but I love that film. I didn't watch it this year, I forgot. Well, I didn't have any time to watch it, but Groundhog Day, definitely good. Definitely good. The film I'm talking about. The actual event is kind of weird, but apparently in the real Punxsutawney, Phil the Groundhog said there's going to be 6 long weeks of winter coming, so I usually do watch it once a year. I usually watch it on Groundhog Day, but I forgot. But looks like the Ling's going to get into the base here. There wasn't a cannon ready just yet. He did go for a Nexus before a cannon. So now he's going to be struggling against Cold's Lings. Cold getting 1 probe already. Losing one of his Lings, but still going to be incredibly annoying to deal with. And remember, pSi are currently DM are currently 2-1 up, so if they win this game, it's going to be game over. The Groundhog does not speak, but they have like little, I think it's like canisters or like a little box. And then inside the box, you've got different outcomes on bits of paper. And the Groundhog will walk over and pick one up, and then they take that as its thing. It's like there was, I think it was for the Olympics, or was it for the World Cup? There was an octopus in the UK that became famous because it started predicting like the results of the games. It was really weird. I don't know if I've made that up, but I'm fairly certain I've heard about that before. It was the World Cup, okay. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what happened there, but looks like Zealot's going to come in for a counter here. He did lose a single probe. Not the biggest deal, but Cold could be losing a lot more here. Zealots trade a lot better against Zerglings than the other way around. Nice unit micro by White as well. Very nice unit micro, actually. Killing so many Lings for no Zealot losses. That is so good. And it was, yeah, it was Paulie Octopus. Thank you, Plastic, in chat. I'm fairly certain that was a British thing, right? It wasn't just... Am I just assuming it was Britain because we're just idiots? I don't know. But White trading so efficiently there. He's actually going to be able to get close to taking down the hatchery. Like, that's how well these Zealots have traded. But looks like the Zealots will be taken down, but not without the Zerg taking heavy losses again. Although it's still not over. If he can trade properly, he could still be in an okay spot. It looks like Cold is going to hold on for the time being, but White has definitely traded incredibly well. Like 7 kills, 6 kills on just these 2 Zealots. That's insane. Now Cold does have his 3rd base mining. He didn't lose any drones throughout that, which is the main thing. But a lot of his lava did go into those Lings that he lost, so that's a bit of a pain. It happens though. It happens. Looks like, by the way, if you don't know what's going on outside of the STPL, our wonderful sponsor, today announced the Russian Cyber Games 2021. That's eSport Fun. That is, of course, the tournament that Rustbrain runs himself. Looks like it's going to be in 191 days. Most likely going to be online, depending on the corona situation, I think. Wait, did he say if it's going to be... Apparently the grand final is going to be offline, and that's in August. I'm going to make a wild guess, and I don't want to be the one to say this, but I don't think they're going to be able to host an offline event in August. It's too soon. Enough people aren't going to be vaccinated for it to go forward, I think, but let's hope it does, because at the end of the day, like, people are getting fed up with corona, and we want everyone to be as well vaccinated as soon as humanly possible, but I think it's a little bit optimistic to say in like October or August we can kind of go back to normal. Okay, Cold taking out the probe. White doing okay though still, back at home. White going into his Templar... Wait, he's not going into his Templar Archives yet. 4 or 5 gateways. Pylon coming up here and down here. Gas coming in as well. Where's the Templar Archives? He's just not building it yet. Okay, so he's delaying his Templar. Now, if we see a big Hydra switch, Cold can actually win the game. And that would be a big turn of events here, because Cold would be able to take them to the ace match against DM. Now, I did mention at the start of the stream, there wasn't many people here, but in the last 5 series that DM and pSi have played each other, DM have won all 5. Okay, more Zealots coming in here. This time they're going to be going for the 3rd base. There's not many units still for Cold. The things are definitely looking a little bit problematic here. We have no Sunkens, and the Sim City here isn't too good. Looks like the Kaiju that he spawned is going to be able to get straight into the city and wreak havoc. But there we go, lots of units coming in to defend this from behind, but will he save all of his drones? There is a Sunken up, but it's going to be taken out very quickly by these Zealots. He does have +1. And +1 Zealots do a ton of damage here. More Zealots coming in, drones coming back, but not at the best time here. He's going to have to use drones to fight back against the Zealots. And I think White is pulling ahead very, very well. Hydra's doing a pretty damn good job here against dealing with the Zealots, but has Cold lost too much already? Is he going to be able to recover from this position? He has a lot of hatcheries now. He's up to 5, and he is building a ton of drones to repopulate this base. And he's finally got his Evo chamber, so he is going to be able to go into +1 attack. And just as we get into a little bit of a lull here, just pointing out that apparently Mind Flayer saying Germany is going insane at the moment or something with thing, and Slam tried to point out the left-wing extremist would be a bad thing, but I don't know about that. But the one problem is France and the fact that Le Pen won the first round of the presidential election. Apparently that happened last time as well, and then like most people voted back for Macron because they didn't want Le Pen to win. But essentially Le Pen is more insane than Trump. Like, she's literally, I think it's a woman, but they're basically super right-wing. Like, yeah, they're a super right-wing lunatic party. Like, they're insane. Makefin saying that apparently people are going to vote the same Conservative Party that doesn't do anything. I mean, I guess at least if they're doing nothing, they're not making things worse. I mean, I guess that's not great, but it's better than better than what our Conservative Party does in the UK, which actively makes it worse every time they get into power. And they just keep winning. But either way, Zealot's going to come in to clear up these Hydras as they head down to the bottom left-hand side of the map. Now, one thing I will say is I've already discussed with the other team captains, I'm going to release the map pool for Season 5 a lot earlier. One of the interesting things I want to do is put a viewer poll to see which, like, I may not go with the result just because it depends what wins, but I might go with a poll to see which of the Season 3 or Season 4 maps you want to see come back. Because I'm kind of interested to know, like, what your guys' favorite map from Season 3 was. I'm not going to bring back all of them, I'm going to bring back some. But I want to see if the maps that people actually enjoy match up with the ones that players enjoy playing. And then go from there. Holy World isn't a Season 4 map, lucky noob. I know you like Holy World, but... Also, if you think Merkel doomed Germany, I think you're a little bit too far gone. Merkel is definitely not doomed Germany. Germany's doing better than literally every other country in Europe. And they have been for a while now. But either way, it looks like we do have Protoss pushing into the third base here. The first line of defense has been broken. The Evolution Chamber is going to go down to the DTs and the Zealots and the Dragoons. And it looks like all of these drones are going to go down. There's not much here to defend. The Hydra's coming in from the back here though, but the Storm doing so much damage. Storm on the Lurkers as well. Season 5 would not be the 5th year of STPL, it would be in this year, so it would be the 4th year. But looking at the situation, looks like Cold has managed to hold on to his base. He's traded pretty efficiently with the army. Looks like 1-1 was built rather than 2-0. It's weird how we're seeing this so often from our Protoss players in STPL, but I suppose there's a reason. More Storm coming in on top of the Hydras. Hydra's not trading the best against the Protoss here. But Cold is going to hold on to his base. He's not mining down here yet, though, which is the problem. Looks like he's sending his only drone to mine from his natural as well. And this is looking a bit rough, but Hydra's going to clear up the Dragoons in the middle of the map. Zealot's coming across here to help twist the knife in, possibly. We're about 15 minutes in. We've not got to the point where Zerg can really start turtling up yet. And that is the problem we're seeing for Cold, because even though Zerg are 8-3 over Protoss here, White is playing this incredibly well. Okay, back home we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gateways now. We've got double forges. Only one of them spinning at the moment though. White not using his money effectively, but here we go. Looks like we've got more Zealots coming in, trying to break his way into this top right hand base. We're up very close in supply now for workers and army. So Cold is doing a damn good job trying to come back in the game. But White definitely still ahead at the moment. Okay, so we have the hive coming in here as well. We've got the evolution teamer is finishing up that +1 armor, but that means his +2 attack isn't coming in yet, which is a bit of a pain. Also, yeah, it's not be careful with the mods, it's be careful with kicks, because I will not have any, like, right-wing apologists, like, chatting shit, because that is not what I believe in. That's just wrong. Like, I'm respectful of your opinion, but you don't have to say, like, spread it in chat. I know I'm using my platform to spread my opinion, so I'm a hypocrite, but still. Okay, lots of brilliant storms coming in here from Cold, from White. Even Cold is struggling so much here against the might of the Protoss army. And looks like Cold is going to retreat back onto his high ground. It's going to be hard for White to push up these ramps, but the ramp up into the main base is looking pretty strong. And the High Templar at the front are going down. There's one more Storm available in the tank. Will he use it? Yes, he does. Perfect use of his Storm energy so far. Another Storm is available. He's made such good use of his Storms here. It's like we're not even watching White play. Like, White hasn't played in the STPL for a very long time, but he is playing this game perfectly. He is playing so well. Cold is still holding on though. He's not technically dead. He's still got a lot of workers. He's still doing okay. And he is expanding to the bottom right. But we do have the 4th base up here for White now. White with still a big army in the middle of the map. 2-1 is done. 3-2 is, well, 2-2 is almost done, but +3 attack has just started up. Looks like we do have the Nidus Canal coming up here as well. That is at the front, so it is available to be taken down quite easily here by the Protoss player. But there we go. Nice storms once again by White on the Lurkers. The Lurkers not really getting any chance to do any damage here, and I think this very well may be checkmate. Cold has played incredibly well, but unfortunately he just doesn't have the units. He doesn't have the time to get the units to be able to kill this army by the looks of it. And there we go. GG. Cold taps out. It is, of course, top versus bottom, so he probably said GG in ally chat. But there we go. That is going to be it for the series. White wins game number 3. 4 even. Okay, so this is the results for today. Of course, DM win the series again. They take their 6th win in a row over Psi, but Psi definitely made it look close this time. Torsan versus Kiko could have gone either way. Michael with a great win over Keen. Whip beating 187, and White winning over Cold. And overall, just a very good series. So I'm really glad we got to see it. I will. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and I don't know if this is a good idea, but let's switch to the camera screen here. Even though VR chat isn't running or anything, hopefully that won't break anything. But basically, I know there's a lot of people in chat who maybe fall to the right wing of the spectrum. There's a lot of people in Europe who do at the moment. There is a big resurgence of the far right in Europe as well, which is something that's quite scary, I must admit. I am quite afraid of it because of how insane the far right seem to be. When you can look at Trump and the people who stormed their Capitol building talking about democracy when they were literally trying to block democracy after the outcome of an election. But I know there's people that don't respect my left-wing views, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I am a left-wing person. I have been my whole life. I cannot ever begin to sympathize with anything the right wing believe, because from what I've seen with my own eyes, is poor, disabled, minority people are dying in this country, in the UK, in a first world country, because of the cuts that my right wing government, that I didn't vote for, have been doing consistently. And a lot of that comes from a position of like specific personal experience as well. And that is like I'm gonna talk about this because this kind of shaped my life. My mom was disabled. She was, on some days she would take 20 tablets in one go in a morning, and essentially she suffered under the hands of our government because the government saw her as worthless. Yeah, Brood War's done now for today, so if you don't want to listen to this, you can leave. But essentially, my mum was living under constant pressure and stress from like the right-wing government, who were doing everything they could to try and take her benefits away when she physically could not work. It was literally her only income. I didn't have a job, I was her carer, it was my only income. I got very little money from the government for doing it. Like, I got, if you look at minimum wage in the UK, I was getting less than a third of what I would have if I had a job. The government kept cutting in the NHS, which meant the services got worse and worse. And one of the services was transport, because my mom couldn't drive, I couldn't drive, and she couldn't get to the hospital. And because she couldn't get to the hospital, because of the cuts they made, the cuts the government made, my mum's kidneys started to fail. And it essentially meant for the last 2 years of her life, she was on dialysis and she was miserable. And I've seen this not only happen to her, it's happened to so many other families in the UK. And the failures of the far right, or the right-wing government in the UK has led to over 100,000 people dying of coronavirus in the UK. If you look at that and you say there's not a problem, then that's on you. But I'm not going to sit here and mollycoddle your views because you think that me saying you're wrong is censorship. That's just what I believe. I know you may say I'm hypocritical for believing that, but that's essentially my position, and that's why I believe what it is. It comes from deep personal experiences. I've seen what a bad government can do, and for the last 30 years in the UK, the right-wing government have been in power for most of it, and even now, they're still trying to take people's benefits away, even though it costs the government very little. Just recently, they agreed to not feed starving children in the UK, so they're literally starving people. Like, this is the problem. Like, you don't have to be super left-wing. You can have socialist policies without being super left-wing, like the UK did for many, many years under Labour, and like a lot of Europe does, like the Scandinavian countries, for instance, with their good social systems, like Denmark, Norway. I'm not sure about Sweden, but I think Sweden as well. But either way, that is going to be me for today. I have ranted enough. I can't be bothered anymore. Have a great evening, morning or afternoon, wherever you are. And I will see you guys on Friday for some more Brood War. Have a very good evening. See you guys later. If you're watching this, you're watching the STPL. Hopefully, you've been enjoying what you've seen so far. If you want to help me make more STPL content to bring more tournaments to you, please support us on Patreon, which you can find up here. And also, there's so many different things you can get through Patreon. One of the main and one of the easiest ones to get is, of course, access to all of the replays of the STPL so far. We've had some amazing games, such as some of the games you can see just over here.